This is Deep Dip, a 14-floor tower map that is deemed one of the hardest in Trackmania, so hard that only 33 people have ever beaten it. Not only is it full of insanely difficult jumps and obstacles, but it requires absolute perfection because one mistake can lose you hours of progress since there are 0 checkpoints. Pros spent hundreds of hours racing to become the first person to reach the top, but could a noob with 0 hours in Trackmania reach the finish in just 7 days? Welcome to the first episode of Noob to Pro, a new series where I try to beat the hardest gaming challenges in games I've never played before. This is the story of my attempt to conquer Deep Dip. Let's go! Deep Dip! Yippee! The first couple hours I didn't want any advice or help so I could have a benchmark for my natural skill. Floor? Oh, this is floor 0. Why? Safe to say the bar was on the floor, like where I would be a majority of the time. Right now, I'm arguably the worst Trackmania player Deep Dip has ever seen, but by my standards, I was doing pretty good. Sure, it took me 15 minutes to figure out the first jump, but each new part of the track I solved filled me with so much excitement and whimsy. Come on! Yes! Let's go! Oh, no! I think for someone who has never played before, I was kind of flying through it. I learned that I had to send it or else I was going to be punished for hesitating. I even figured out how to dirt wall ride without really knowing what that even was. Holy shit! Just after the 1 hour mark, I made it into the pool. It was by no means a perfect run, but it felt like a massive accomplishment. Realistically, though, I wasn't even 1% of the way there. This is something the pros would have accomplished in less than a minute, but considering it was my first day of Trackmania, I was even impressing them. I was ready to put virtual out of a job. What is happening to my car? What is happening? No! I may have had to try certain obstacles multiple times, but I didn't feel like I was failing, but more like solving a puzzle. Come on! Holy shit! But I sure was falling, and a lot of it due to the ice. At 2 hours and 22 minutes in, I would find myself at the hardest jump of floor 0 for the first time. Holy shit, let's go! Sending it. Wait, sending it where? Sending it where? Hold on. No! I thought that was the way. What the hell? What's the way then? This was the most difficult jump I had faced so far. The goal was to fly off of this dirt road and onto this green piece on the other side. My biggest problem wasn't necessarily how hard the jump was, but how long it would take me to get back to the top and the immense pressure I would feel to try it again. After each fail, I'd become more impatient, causing myself to make silly mistakes earlier and earlier in each new climb. Even getting close to making the jump would just break me. Oh, come on, man. Come on. I was right there. I think genuinely I might need to play with checkpoints right now and come back to the pure just to, if I can understand that jump, I will have like way more confidence. Like, I think at this point, we truly are just banging our head against the wall because I just don't understand. I was feeling incredibly drained. My mental was in the gutter, and I knew if I wanted to see anything other than floor 0, I was gonna have to let go of my pride and switch up the plan. Because if I was stuck here, how was I gonna get through the higher floors? So I switched to Deep Dip with many checkpoints. This is still so hard that only about 600 players have ever finished it. As soon as I got in, I was flying and got back to my PB in less than 4 minutes. And thank God I did this because this took an embarrassing amount of tries to even touch the grass. Oh my God. Okay, we touched it. I had finally found the line. It wasn't super consistent, but it was enough for me to get to the other side to see this massive gap I was gonna have to jump. Yeah, because how am I supposed to get up there? How am I supposed to get up there without going 8 billion miles per hour? Because of my 0 understanding of racing games and mechanics, all I have is brute force, so I would keep trying different things until something worked slightly better and I would try to understand why that was. I initially thought I was gonna have to carry all that speed from the grass and that's what was gonna help me cross the big gaps. But actually, I started to notice that every time I took a wider angle, I was able to jump further and further. And after 25 minutes of spamming reset on this jump, oh my God, I did it! Let's go! Oh my God! I had finally pushed through my first major roadblock, but little did I know how much worse this was actually gonna get. After completing that jump, the rest of floor 0 felt like a baby game. Oh! That is the entirety of floor 0. The relief didn't last for long because floor 1 would constantly bait me into the wrong direction. Is this not the way? This looks like death. And this would happen a lot on floor 1, where it seemed like you were totally going the correct way because it was the most obvious route to take, just to find out it's not possible. I'm willing to listen to any advice that you might have here. What? You're telling me this whole time there's this here? I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. What is this fucking map? I eventually made it up, but after the bullshit I went through, how can anyone expect me to believe this is a real jump? For God's sake, the boosters are backwards, man. What is this vertical half pipe? Do I look like Tony Hawk? I tried a variety of things and none of them good. Okay. I see. I see it now. I see it now, coach. I don't see it now. God damn it. Why? Why is that there? This is the first time I gave it and watched a video of someone doing this jump. Turns out I was going the completely wrong direction. I felt a little out of my league here. Up until this point, things were hard, but I could brute force and sort things out. But not here. I was forced to learn actual mechanics, like how sliding on dirt would help me with speed, and if I didn't do that, this jump would be impossible. Oh my God. I don't care. I did it. I made it. The next 2 checkpoints were actually a breeze. I picked up everything super fast. I just had to land smooth enough into this ramp to gain speed and jump across, then angle myself so I would flip into the pool. Then up this tube and down this hill to the final jump of floor 1. I actually almost got this jump really early into my attempts, but after that, it kind of all fell apart. The nose of my car would keep clipping on the ramp as it would drop during airtime. This is where I was taught if I brake in the air, my car will hold its current position, which helps me enter much more consistently. No! Why would you do that to me? But getting onto the half pipe was a whole other story, and after 6 hours of streaming, it was starting to drive me crazy. Are you taking into account the wind? You know what, Juno? Now I am. I was banging my head against the wall until a viewer recommended I try air braking getting out of the ramp since I was clipping there too. Oh my God! I can't believe this is real. It feels so good, but Jesus Christ. Now, the only thing standing between me and floor 2 was this skinny little ramp. No. Okay. You know what? We can go down nice and gentle. We can go down. We can go. No, not that far down. Not that far down. But luckily for me, the hour I spent at that final jump made me pretty consistent. Holy shit, I'm fucking goated. Oh my God, what the hell? I had learned enough to finally get back up there in no time. There we go. Nice! But I didn't play much of it since I knew I needed practice on the earlier floors. You see, I can't save my spot when I end my stream for the night. Every morning, I'd have to start fresh on floor 0. I felt very far from pro. At this pace, I'd never reach floor 14. Practicing the previous floors yesterday paid off because today I was able to get to floor 2 in 1 hour. Floor 2 was full of very thin balance beams, all about precision, which I'm obviously very good at. But to my surprise, it was actually really easy. Don't get me wrong, I didn't first try every obstacle, but unlike floor 0 and 1, there was nothing new for me to learn. Sure, I had my own unique way to solve things. Girl, you better get up there! Oh my fucking God, I did it. But it felt more like a Roblox obby in terms of difficulty. I literally solved it so quickly, I couldn't believe it was already done. Wait, that's it? That's floor 2? I beat floor 2? Floor 3 had lots of riding around the perimeter of the tower, just kind of forcing you to make a jump to every new obstacle. After struggling all day yesterday on almost every single obstacle, beating floor 2 so quickly gave me an insane amount of confidence that carried over to the other floors. Oh my God, I'm so good! But this floor brought up a unique issue that I hadn't experienced yet. Come on. That sucks. This is turtling. Even though you made the jump, there is no way to flip it over, forcing you to restart. And this happened a lot. It really didn't help that once I finally did land it, the next checkpoint was behind an obstacle I had no idea how to handle. This one lets me go backwards! But with enough tries, I found the correct way to get through the boosters and up the hill. Shockingly, it was smooth sailing, driving on the ice, just had to take it nice and slow. Then I was shot back up to the perimeter of the tower again, and I'd ride around until I got to the final checkpoint of floor 3. Holy fuck, I'm goated. I made it there in just a little over 2 hours. A lot of my quick success can clearly be attributed to the fact that I don't have to be perfect because of the checkpoints. Playing this way lets me experiment and learn because after all, this is just my second day of playing Trackmania. I can't figure out how I'm supposed to do that. Have you been? I don't know what the fuck those words mean. What is a bug slide? I don't know how this actually looks to a veteran Trackmania player, but I felt like I was picking up these concepts pretty quickly. Bug sliding is a mechanic where you want your car to land at a 90-degree angle, then accelerate, steer, and brake right before you touch the ground to whip yourself around. Holy shit. Oh, let's go! We made it! I learned how to bug slide! Let's go! Maybe you could call it beginner's luck, but either way, I was climbing and learning at a rate I never expected. Floor 4 was made by Nacho, who must have had a massive hard-on for boosters. But it was me that was getting fucked by these boosters. Oh, I almost had it! Damn it. Oh, so close. It's so precise. From the first checkpoint, floor 4 really slowed me down. I can't really pinpoint exactly why I was struggling. It could have been because I had to learn how to aim my car at Mach 8 speed. Oh my god, I got it. Oh, I couldn't turn fast enough. As I was struggling embarrassingly on this checkpoint, a doubter said they couldn't believe I was actually taking on this challenge, but there is nothing I love more than doing the impossible. Dude, but Joey, I'm low-key cracked. I'm low-key cracked. Not that I would survive that, like, in the regular run, but I'm just saying, I'm like kind of decent. Then I proceeded to spend the next 25 minutes stuck on the next checkpoint. Oh, not again! I can't brake fast enough, man! But it really was just a matter of time. I learned how to set myself up and started applying new skills I learned, like bug sliding. I did it! I did exactly what you said! Let's freaking go, dude! Yes! I was actually starting to love this game. Every time I would solve a new obstacle, it felt so rewarding. I finally understood how boosters worked. Every floor was teaching me something new. I felt how much my skill had improved in just 2 days. It didn't matter how many tries it took because I was confident that I would figure it out no matter what. And I truly believe that positive mental attitude is what carried me there. I think we can figure this out. I think we can figure this out. Come on, yes! Yes! Oh my god! I made it to floor 5! My mood was great, but I was aware my pace had drastically slowed down and was wondering if it'd get even worse from here. Because floor 5 had some of the craziest looking obstacles I had seen so far, but most importantly, it had a QR code to the most motivational video I've seen in my life. Hey there, friend. I know you've been having some troubles lately. I have. Be the person that I know you can be. Don't leave anything up to chance. I believe in you, pal. Oh, thank you, motivational lizard. We all believe in you. Chat, you believe in me? You're a winner, kiddo. Don't you ever forget. I feel it. I'm a winner. Now I was ready to take on floor 5, where I would immediately have to learn something new called the ice dirt flick, where I think I'm using my icy wheels and the strange physics of dirt to drift myself onto the next platform. Funny enough, this wasn't the hardest part of it. I just had a really tough time getting onto the platform to actually perform the trick. Holy shit! The next checkpoint was one long dirt wall ride, which somehow I am a complete natural at these. Easy, first try. And that brings us to the craziest jump I've seen so far. Am I riding the right, jumping this, going into this half pipe style, going here, hitting the boosters, having to go back, and then up and around somewhere? Is that here? Holy shit! This jump looked incredibly daunting, and my first try at it was an absolute train wreck, but I had gotten this far and wasn't gonna let anything stop me. No! Why? Why did it crash? In a second, I went from incredibly positive to complete and utter despair. I'm so disheartened. I'm so sad. I already spent half the day just making it to floor 5, and now I would have to spend the time climbing all the way back up there because of a game crash? Would I even get to see anything new, or am I gonna spend the rest of the day on the same floors again? Part of me wanted to end day 2 right there, but I knew I couldn't and found myself at the start line. Then suddenly, I was at floor 1 in 7 minutes, floor 2 in 18 minutes, floor 3 in 45 minutes? 45 minutes? Ah, I couldn't see my tires. Okay, minor setback, but floor 4 in 1 hour and 11 minutes, and finally reached floor 5 in 1 hour and 32 minutes. And now we are at exactly where the game crashed. This was a very important moment for me. I proved to myself that this wasn't luck. I really was getting better at Trackmania. Oh my god, that's perfect. That's in. That's in. I actually did it. I actually did it. I'm gonna edge towards the dude. After such a devastating blow to my confidence, I could not believe that I was here. Like I said, easy. Watch this. From the second I announced this challenge, I had been hearing the horror stories of floor 6. Everyone telling me that they would be so impressed if I even managed to beat floor 6 alone. If I thought this challenge was difficult up to this point, I was really about to be tested. The beginning of the floor gave me a lot of false confidence. It took me some time to figure out how to solve the first few obstacles. I even learned how to ice slide, but it wasn't anything major, so I was like, psh, this is what they're calling the hardest floor. I've gone through so many checkpoints already. This is a baby game. Until I got here and saw what I had to do. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. I knew I was cooked. I'm confident, but not stupid. Once again, Deep Dip is my first Trackmania map I've ever played, so I've had no experience racing and controlling my car at high speeds. And that really showed on these tight platforms where I had to go fast or I wouldn't make the jump. This jump also had a very particular line with an insanely small jump angle. Don't angle yourself enough, your jump will be too short. Angle yourself too much, you will clip this white wall and flip out. I will end it all if I run into that shit again. After only 15 hours played, I just didn't have this kind of precision. Not to mention, I've been playing on keyboard because Virtual does, and he's the only Trackmania player I know. Multiple people told me to switch to a controller, but I refused because I felt like I was gonna lose all that muscle memory I had built up. I was so desperate, literally VOD reviewing this jump, slowing it down, trying to catch every little movement this guy did to make this jump, and slowly... Oh, I see it. Now that I knew it was possible, that I could do it, I wasn't gonna let this go. I did it! Let's freaking go! Let's go, dude! Yes! Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god! That was the hardest jump I've done yet, but unfortunately, the jump that came right after that would already steal that title. You had to drop down perfectly into this ramp, which would lead you up to a jump into a pool with tons of speed required. It had been a pretty emotional day, and I'd already streamed 7 hours, which just led to a straight hour of failed attempts that honestly weren't even close. I was exhausted turning stream off for the night. I was scared that they were right, that floor 6 really was a bottleneck, and I was one of the people who weren't gonna make it through. Today started off terrible. I was making lots of silly mistakes and everything was taking me longer than normal on the earlier floors. Oh, what? I've literally never failed on that before. Obstacles I had originally mastered, I was having such a difficult time with. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 more tries. I'm playing like I had amnesia and never seen this track before. Weirdly enough, it started getting easier the higher I went up floors. 3 through 5 each only took me about 10 to 15 minutes max. But when I got back here, I was nervous because I didn't know if I just got past this jump by pure luck. Oh my god, that was crazy! easy! Clearest display of skill I've ever seen. So last night, I was having two major problems with this jump. When entering the drop down, I would turn my car in the air instead of trying to enter smoothly and use the track as sort of one continuous road. Then when I was exiting the jump, I was never at the correct angle. I needed to be slightly on the right side of the A so it would actually launch me towards the pool. So now all I would need to do is combine these two together. Easy, right? Wrong. Come on! No! We still have 5 hours to go. We do. And I won't need them. I'm about to hit this shit right here. That would have been so cool. God does not want to give me aura points, bro. God wants to rip them away from me. But surely, at least once, I believe these stars would align. I see it! I did it! Let's fucking go! Oh my god, yes! Yes! That was so good! Hardest jump completed, let's go! Nothing's gonna stop me now! Oh god. Oh, fuck! So this, really, for sure, 100% this time, no takesy backsies, is the hardest jump I've ever had to do. It was nice knowing you. No, brother, I got this shit. I don't care if I have to spend all fucking day learning this shit. I'm doing it. I really don't know how to express to you guys how difficult this was for me, man. After a literal hour, I only managed to land perfectly in the loop once. Forget getting out of it or the other half of the jump that's as far as I got. And somehow, this wasn't even the most painful part of today. This was... My finger slipped and hit the fucking delete button. This was the equivalent to my game crashing because I fat fingered a button. I literally cannot believe this happened twice. I know this is my fault, but it felt like the universe was against me. But there was nothing to do but keep going, so I moved the give up button further away and got back to it. I tried to remain positive and look at this as a mental reset from the most difficult jump, for real this time, no takesy backsies, on deep dip. After all, I had to keep improving my time if I didn't want to do a 24-hour stream to get to floor 14, and somehow I managed my best time yet. We'll take it. It's a little bit goofy, but we made it. We made it to floor 6. Sub an hour, sub 50 minutes. I once again did this jump with complete skill. I will take it. I will take it! And found myself back at this beast. I was starting to improve, but it was so slow. I really had to break down this obstacle and take it a piece at a time. After another hour of practice here, I finally learned that I had to line up my car going into the bobsleigh, so my front right tire would be just barely going above the yellow line to get that perfect entrance into the loop. As for exiting out of the loop, I'm in too perfect of a circle again. How am I supposed to deal with that? How am I supposed to see? How am I supposed to feel? How am I supposed to know where I'm landing in these loops? Also, for every semi-successful entrance into the loop, it has about 10 resets between them because there's no room for mistakes on these lines. But just like I slowly learned how to get into the loop, I slowly learned how to get out of it too. And gracefully, may I add. No! Why is that there? Why does everything have to be so dark? I can't see. Why don't I have headlights on this car? Mods, that corner, take it out back and shoot it in the head. Get that corner too! Get that corner too! Right, so two problems here. Either I come out of the loop too fast, lose control, hitting everything and their mother, or I'm too slow and don't have enough speed for liftoff. Yeah, look, I need 350 speed! I need about 100 more speed than I normally do! After crashing into this corner exactly 5.2 billion times, I did get one really good attempt in. That's the closest I've been! Ah! Immediately after that, my sister brought me a drink that had a message for me on the bottle cap. Don't be so humble, you are not that great. What the hell? Wait, don't be so humble, you are not that great is crazy to put into a fucking can. Like, I don't need that right now. And unfortunately, this bottle cap was right. I'm not that great. After spending half of the day at this jump, I still couldn't complete it. Floor 6 had defeated me once again, and maybe this was as far as I could make it. I don't even want to talk about it, okay? Please don't look at the timer. I can't believe it took me 2 hours to get back to this jump. I genuinely felt embarrassed. After all this time I put into this map and how poorly I was playing, I started to think I'm for sure not making it past floor 6 today. But attempt after attempt, I started to balance better. I started using my first-person camera to aim for the bobsleigh and exit the loop. I started to tap instead of oversteering, and it all led me to this. Oh my god! Ah! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, I just gotta get up the checkpoint! Oh, that's one of the hardest things I've ever done. After 3 days of being stuck here, I finally had beaten floor 6. Oh, yes! We made it to floor 7! But it was already day 4, and I had 8 floors I've never even seen before left to climb. Floor 7 was a freak show, truly one of the most random floors on the whole map. I was introduced to a lot of new skills, mechanics, and materials here. Like this loop that had magnets so you could drive upside down and fling yourself across into one of these holes. Come on! That's it! Let's go! Ball is life! I learned you can dry your tires on certain materials and how important that is, especially if you're going to be driving on a material like plastic, which is going to be nearly impossible to control. That's in! Yes, baby! Let's go! But the rest of the floor wouldn't let me do that. A lot of it had me driving on wet plastic or ice and slipping and sliding around. As long as I took my time and didn't let my nerves get the best of me, it was a piece of cake. After floor 6 taking 3 days to finally push through, I solved floor 7 in 40 minutes. Oh, okay, there we go. Floor 8, we made it, baby! Woo! It was kind of unbelievable. I always thought I was going to struggle more and more with each floor, but you won't believe what floor 8 would hold. Some of the easiest obstacles on the whole map. There was nothing really special about it. No difficult jumps at all. A majority of obstacles I could look at and understand what I was supposed to do pretty quickly. It was just a matter of executing it well. There was only one that got to me just because I didn't understand what to do. Not that it was necessarily difficult, but once I understood, I solved it with relative ease. Get me in, get me in, get me in. Oh my god, I really felt like I was playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater there. Another 40 minutes, another whole floor beaten. Guys, we're on floor 9! But I should have known that this would not last forever, as floor 9 is another one of those difficult floors that would crush my momentum. I was already having trouble at checkpoint 2. Even though I had gotten this far, when it came to these kinds of jumps that had a very particular line and required lots of speed, I would struggle heavily. Dude, how am I supposed to get up there? Because sometimes I would be able to get past an obstacle, but not necessarily understand why that was so successful to be able to apply it to other difficult obstacles that may be pretty similar. I just didn't have the vision to see it, but I would keep my head up and continue to experiment. No. I mean, if I just go straight and I book it straight, is everything okay? Come on! Please. Okay. I was like, please, I want it. But there is no relief because this floor would just get progressively more difficult. My god, they asked me to balance on an ice beam while transferring over to another at a shitty angle, then get enough momentum on this thing to toss myself onto a platform. I slammed my nose onto a bobsleigh about 1,000,000 times before I found the specific line that would let me transfer from one to the other smoothly, just to end up at the final and most difficult jump of floor 9. I could be totally wrong saying this, but it feels like a lot of, if not all, obstacles on floor 9 have one particular line, and if you don't take it, you won't make it. Eventually, I would learn how to use my speed from the checkpoint to get into the bobsleigh, but controlling it felt impossible. I wanted to try it at least. I was struggling to learn how to correct my car in the air after the bobsleigh so I could land cleanly enough, because this may be a shocker, but it once again requires a stupid amount of speed. Damn it! Was it not enough speed? And even when I could do that, it still wasn't enough. Come on, no! Ugh. Honestly, I couldn't stay consistent with this at all, so every attempt looked different until I just had the one. Let's go. Floor 10, I think, is best described as a puzzle. Like, one of the first obstacles, I had to apparently get into this secret tunnel and flip myself into a turtle, but I have to move like this. Also, at the end of it, my tires can attach to a magnetic wall. I couldn't believe my eyes. Is this legitimately the way to go? You're saying, why can't you just drive up to it normally and go up the wall if it's magnetic? It's because Hazard, the creator of this floor, put a little green block between you and the magnetic wall so you wouldn't be able to. Hazard? Yeah, this floor was to my mental health. This one may take a while. I have faith. Maybe I'm really goated. Yeah, it wasn't long before I realized it was going to be faster for me to find a cheese than to actually learn how to do this, so I started slamming myself into the wall. Okay. Soon enough, I found if I hit my wheel at a certain angle against the wall, it'd flip me over. So it didn't matter how I flipped over, just as long as I was next to the magnetic wall. Okay? Come on. Holy shit. Let's go. Honestly, cheesing that is insane. Outside of moving while turtling, this floor is not mechanically hard. It's just hard to figure out where the fuck I'm going. Am I going here? Oh, okay. This might be a unique Vaqr gaming issue, but I couldn't tell what the goal was or where I was supposed to go in any camera. Guys, this is where I tell you I have really bad directional dyslexia. Oh. My front wheels are in. Oh, wait. She's skinny? The car is skinny? Is there a checkpoint up here? Mercy. Then after a hop, skip, and a jump, I had landed in the pool where up this hill, floor 11 waited for me. But I was too busy getting fucked by boosters again to even notice I crossed the threshold. Come on. Oh, I had it. Okay, I get it. After learning so much so quickly today, I did not expect floor 11 to become my new floor 6. There is literally only one checkpoint on this whole floor that I would call easy, and everything else was made by Satan himself. But I didn't really know that yet. Okay. And for some reason, after 20 straight minutes of failing at transferring to the second circle, I decided this. Honestly, I'm going for floor 14 today. If it takes 12 hours, it takes 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the day, I don't care. I'm getting it done. I mean, that blind confidence and the willingness to push myself is what got me this far. Thank God. The thing is, though, it's almost been 6 hours. With how long I've been streaming and how much new track I had to learn, my brain is running on fumes at this point. And in front of me is a jump that doesn't look crazier than anything I've done before, but it drove me to the brink of insanity. The problem is Juke Master, the speedrunner I've been watching to help me with certain jumps, is a very talented Trackmania player with high precision and consistency. And I am none of those things. I tried to back up the way he does and send it down the ramp, but that would end up in me falling off the side or never having enough speed for the jump. So I had to try building up speed a different way, but this platform was so small and the camera would get so fucky I would fall and fall and fall and fall. It was getting to me so bad, I needed help from the motivational lizard again. After falling off so many times, I would start to hesitate to prevent that. But then if I got the chance to get to the launch of the jump, I was at nowhere enough speed. Dude, fuck me. Once I realized either falling off or failing at launch was going to lead to the same result anyway, I started to send it again. That's the first time I touched it. I feel insane. And then came one of the most heartbreaking attempts. Come on! Turn on my head! No! Come on! Come on! I was devastated. I finally made it up there and I turtled. But then I noticed something. Is my car moving forward? Come on! Push! 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 We will get there! We will get there! Man, thank God I was playing with checkpoints. The next obstacle was an insanely long dirt wall ride, and it's a good thing I'm naturally good at this. But the last obstacle of floor 11 is a monster, a steep, slippery snake made of plastic. This was a nerve-wracking obstacle. You had to go so slow and be so careful. I was holding my breath as I would go up. One wrong movement would send you sliding down and you'd have to start the whole gruelingly slow process all over again. There was even a point I made it up to the top. Stop. No. Oh, it's so heartbreaking. This made me incredibly impatient. After all, I was convinced I was beating Deep Dip today, which just led to me rushing and making mistake after mistake, unable to see the top of the snake ever again. To tell you the truth, the real reason I wanted to beat it today was because I still had a fear in me that I wasn't going to be able to make it past floor 6 again. But whether that was true or not, it was clear that today wasn't going to be the day. All right. I think I have to stop. I'm too tired. I'm too mentally checked out. I want to do it, but I just have to trust myself that I can do it tomorrow. As hard as I am on myself, I think it's safe to say today was amazing progress. I finally conquered floor 6, beat floors 7 through 10, and was on the final obstacle of floor 11 all in one day. Would the bottleneck that is known as floor 6 hold me back again? That is the fastest I've ever done that. I can't really call myself a pro yet, but being able to prove to myself that I learned enough to beat this floor consistently sure made me feel like one. I am not gonna let this shit get me down. We're cracking this shit fucking immediately. My confidence was at its peak. As I climbed back to the snake, I knew I was accomplishing things that someone with hundreds of hours in Trackmania couldn't do. Let's go! Let's go! Oh, fuck it. I said it. I said I'm cracking it immediately. I'm not thinking about it. I'm feeling it. Yes! Last night, it took me 7 hours to get to the snake, and today I was there in 5. Now, with a clear mind, I just had to figure out how to handle the last portion of the snake. God, I was shaking. My hands were shaking the whole time. Yes! Floor 12 was like a water park. But if every square inch of it was covered in the slipperiest material known to man, and also the park was made by Jigsaw. Wait, is it right this way? It is right this way. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, gee. Okay, let's try that one more time. They really took that little yellow piece I couldn't get up on day 1 and made it into a whole floor. Oh, I didn't realize it was that far away. And this floor was especially bad because I was getting so antsy knowing how close I was to the top, and wet plastic doesn't really like that. God damn it. You're forgetting you can stop and line up. You have free will. It doesn't feel like it. There are some crazy looking obstacles on this floor, but the one I spent the most time on was because of this tiny baby jump. No, come on, my freaking nose. This is one of those times where chat was telling me, oh, it's because you're stuck in a bad gear. It's a bad gear. That's why you aren't making it. Do you think I know what the fuck a gear is? I told you guys, this is my first car game. Somehow, I learned the speedrun strat on accident, but getting over this tiny gap, impossible. What am I supposed to do? Eventually, I was able to get low enough here to gain speed and get across. I'm sure this floor would have been much more nerve-wracking and difficult if I wasn't playing with checkpoints, but because I didn't have that pressure here, nothing took me longer than a handful of attempts. Ooh, let's go! Floor 13! Yippee! Floor 13, though, was a whole other story. I would argue that this floor is the second bottleneck of Deep Dip. You may be sick of hearing this, but oh my god, I was struggling. This was so cruel to put so close to the top. The first jump, which is made to make you clip onto everything if you weren't taking the exact right route. The second jump had me going through a booster into a loop of ice, then to launch myself across a massive gap. But these were both nothing compared to this jump. Transitioning from one skinny quarter pipe to another to launch yourself into a dangerous ice half pipe. And man, did I have difficulty with that transition. Jumping too early would have my car flip in all kinds of different directions, just clipping into the second quarter pipe. Jumping too late would send me flying into the objects above. And the rare times I did make the transition, I would choke out of pressure and fall off, or forget about the dodge right before the launch. Maybe it was out of exhaustion from streaming well over 8 hours, but I just couldn't get a feel for how this transition worked, and even when I did, it felt like it wasn't enough. Dude, I'm gonna freak the fuck out. Oh my god. This is one of the hardest jumps in this whole fucking game, I swear to god. Last jump of floor 6 was one of the hardest jumps in the game at one point. It's true, and that has become so easy for me now. And that bit of motivation made me believe in myself again. was so... That was so hard. But I was wrong. That was nowhere near the hardest jump of floor 13 because the final jump was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. I had to transition between two tilted windy roads into a ramp with a booster, make sure I don't scrape my car on the hole, and into a very small ramp that I have to hit at the perfect left angle to land on floor 14. At this point, I had already spent nearly 2 hours on floor 13. Interesting. This is gonna be a long one. Everything felt like it was building up to this moment. After a few tries, I learned how to transition between the roads cleanly and have a relatively smooth landing into the ramp with a booster. It was everything that came after that portion that exposed my weakness again. Fuck, not enough speed, I don't think. Not enough speed. Ugh, we hit everything on the way there, brother. I was still struggling to control my car at high speeds. What's insane is 10 minutes into attempts for this jump, I got this run. Dude. Landing upside down here is so fucked. No fucking way. If only I had remembered to air brake in that moment, I would have successfully completed this and already been on my way to floor 14. I even considered using the default movement again to push myself into the checkpoint, but that isn't the way I wanted to do this. I didn't want to feel like I cheated myself. So for the next 20 minutes, I lost control of my car, scraped my car losing all my speed, and jumped at the wrong angle, all to hit this diabolical attempt. Come on! Not upside down again! Why do I deserve this turtle, man? 40 minutes into this jump and I still hadn't learned my lesson. Remember when I said it wasn't gonna take me an hour? Fuck! I wouldn't let myself make the same mistake a third time. I was getting consistent, making it all the way to the ramp, but just not getting the right angle. But I was also getting very tired. I think this might be a tomorrow problem. Like, I don't know how much more I got into me. I'm gonna give it a few more tries. If I can get past it, I'll stay up and I'll do it. But like, I had officially hit the 9-hour mark and I was just running out of juice. And I told myself if I didn't do it soon, that I would just have to climb all the way back up again tomorrow. Oh my god. I can't believe it. Okay, I guess we're staying up. I guess we're gonna finish it. That's what I said. I had finally reached floor 14 and I was gonna cross that finish line today. Nothing was gonna stop me. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Except maybe me. You could say I was a little antsy. There we go.
If you're a Vaqr gaming channel,
stop!
are you abiding by proxy?
I don't think floor 14 was particularly hard just because the makers of this map probably knew that the nerves up here would be what would make it so difficult. There was only one checkpoint that really got to me where, of course, I once again had wet wheels on plastic bouncing on this tube to shoot myself over the gap. Then I would have to line myself up perfectly in this corner to get all the speed I needed to shoot myself into this box and finally up this little baby jump. I'm just ass like that. Like, this took way more tries than I'm willing to admit and is now my new hardest jump on deep dip. But really, the floors before taught me everything I needed to know and I reached the roof in 30 minutes. We made it to the roof. Oh my god. These are the finishes. These circles right here. You see them? I gotta launch myself into that. Is this it? Yes! Did he crash? Oh my god. Let's go! Let's go! I am the 615th place. I'm not last. It was clear on day one I had no idea how difficult the challenge ahead of me was. But as the days went on, I wasn't even sure I was gonna beat deep dip with checkpoints. So I'm incredibly proud of myself for making it this far. I think that places me at an experienced player right in the middle of the noob to pro scale because I know a majority of Trackmania players would not be able to do this or even dare to try. But this challenge is not done. I still have 2 days left and I want to push my skill as far as it can go. Now that I had beaten many checkpoints, the next thing in line was to be the version with only 1 checkpoint per floor. And after 25 minutes, this is as far as I got. No! I needed to brake for longer. I'm getting closer up there every time. I know I can beat this floor. Since I had already been deep dipped with checkpoints, I was more relaxed today and decided to finally try playing with a controller. Let me just, out of pure curiosity, let me plug one in. And on my first real run with the controller, this is what happened. Oh my God. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be fucking kidding me. I've been trying to get up there with the fucking keyboard this whole time, and I couldn't do it. Now that I plug in the controller. Maybe I should have listened a long time ago, but alas, we're here now. Throughout this event, several people told me to switch to a controller, but I remained so stubborn because I thought I'd have to relearn everything again. Checkpoint, let's go! Floor 1! I did it! It took a little bit, but we did it! We did it without checkpoints! It genuinely is a night and day difference. With the controller, obstacles that would take me multiple tries, I'm solving with ease. It is that helpful. You know how long that jump normally takes me every single time I fucking get there? I feel like I installed hacks. I was honestly starting to get angry about it because I wish I did this earlier. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Outside of a little turtle situation that took up some time, I killed this shit. I did not have to reset once. I did it all in one shot in 11 minutes. And that's fucking floor 2, chat. We beat floor 1 like fucking nothing. Man, who would have thought the precise movements you can make on a controller could help so much? Not me, that's for sure. Anyways, floor 2 only took me 5 minutes. That is floor 2 complete. Am I goated? I was full of confidence with how quickly I was beating these floors, and I thought I was a natural at this point. I don't think I've ever been more wrong in my life. I didn't realize how much I depended on resetting at checkpoints to get through floor 3, and now with only one checkpoint on the floor, the pressure was on because one bad flip and I'm all the way back to the start. But then I had one really good run where I made it to the last jump of floor 3. No! And unfortunately, that was as far as I would go. I then spent the next 2 hours trying to get back to that final jump, choking over and over again. I finally knew what just an ounce of that pressure was like for the pros that had to climb with no checkpoints. Realizing that maybe I wasn't ready for this after all, I went back to many checkpoints and practiced getting to floor 6 in a record-breaking 41 minutes. I may not be able to beat it with only one checkpoint per floor yet, but I do think I deserve moving a smidge for clearing the first 3 floors. Final day of the challenge, I decided I wasn't happy with my time. It took me 9 hours and 35 minutes to beat the map, and I think I could do better than that, especially with a controller. Let me just say, I couldn't believe what I was doing. Did I just beat that floor in less than 3 minutes? But this is the moment I knew I had come such a long way. Chat, I just made it up to floor 6, sub 30 minutes. Are we kidding? Although floor 6 slowed me down a lot, as it tends to do, but improvement is improvement, man. Anyways, I won't self-suck for too long because you've already seen me do all of this before, but I managed to finish the map in 4 hours and 26 minutes, knocking 5 hours off my original time. At the end of this challenge, I would put myself somewhere in between experienced and semi-pro because I couldn't complete what I originally set out to do, beating deep dip with no checkpoints. That being said, I put 55 hours into Trackmania in just 7 days, and beating deep dip with checkpoints was still one of the hardest things I've ever done in my gaming career, and I'm really proud of myself for it. Thank you for watching the first episode of Noob to Pro. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what challenge in a game you want me to take on next.